Okay. So we covered the first part up to the DBMS structure. Okay. So people who work with databases is what we learned that is called as this concept. We don't have the specific concept in our even textbooks also. So in the first module, if you learn about from the overview to the DBMS structure, that is more enough. Okay. So in the last class, I just discussed about this database management structure with you all. And today I'm going to cover this second chapter. Anyhow, we have finished up to the, in the ER model, we have finished up to the keys. Okay, so let us go with the second chapter. So just I'll take 2 minutes of time to just show you the structure of the DBMS, otherwise you'll forget. Yes, this is the structure of the DBMS. So you will get the question for the 2 marks, okay, on this. Directly they'll not ask you the questions. Even for your mid-examination, some descriptive questions also will be there. So you might get any one descriptive question on this concept, and 1 2 marks question also, and 1 2 marks MCQ question, and 1 2 marks descriptive question. So whatever I discussed with you about each and every component, okay, in all these levels, you just remember and go through the explanation which was I mentioned in the PPT, and definitely I'll share the material with you all before the before 2 days of the exam. So this is what, anyhow, we know that in the abstractions levels of DBMS, we know that we have the 3 levels. So physical level, logical level, and then external level. So as like that, we have here also some levels. Okay. Anyhow, we have the disk storage to store the data, and then we have the storage manager used to manage the data by giving the authentication and by looking over into the transactions which was correctly executed, and data is in consistent state or not, that can be taken by the, that can be controlled by the transaction manager, and authentication manager is used to issue the like to, at first he is the responsible person to authorize the users. So if the concerned person is authorized, then automatically they'll give the data access for them. So that is the responsibility for the authorization and integrity manager. So coming to this file manager and buffer manager. So what is the responsibility of the file manager and buffer manager? Yes, anybody, anyone. Even I'll welcome the fifth section, I mean E section students also. If you know the answer, you can answer me. What is the file manager and what is the buffer manager? See here. Got it? Got it? Understood? See here, this file manager is responsible to allocate the spaces for the data. Okay, but coming to the buffer manager, which is used to get the data from the disk to the main memory. So buffer manager is used to responsible, which ensures, okay, or he is the responsible person of managing the data from the disk to the main memory. Okay, and his response and the manager is responsible here to allocate the space in the disk, okay, for the data. So this is what all this responsibilities and the works. So transaction manager, authorization and integrity manager, file manager and buffer manager. And this is data anyhow, you know, and this data dictionary is nothing but it will just gives us the data about the database. So suppose if you have a doubt like data is data, so what is about the data dictionary? Okay, data about the data means what? Suppose if you have stored somewhere your data, so I want to know about your database. So what I'll do, I'll just cross check how many of the tables that you have used. Yeah, that is the data about your database. Okay, how many of the tables that you have stored in that is there in that database? Yeah, that is the data about the data. And what are the keys that you have that you made as a primary key for all the tables? Yes, that is also the data about the database. So that is called the data about the data, which is also called as metadata repository. And indices are nothing but index. So how do we have like index? Okay, it helps us to know the correct page, the concept where it was exactly in the textbook. So it helps us to improve the access of data. Okay, so this is what indices. How like we have the index in the textbooks, as like that we also have the indices in the disk. Okay, and coming to the statistical data, this statistical data, uh, the scientists, the data scientists mostly, they will just do the work on the statistical data only. The mm, suppose if I am the data scientist, okay, in this organization, so then what I'll do, I'll just take the data from this maybe from the third year students, okay, from last 5 years data, from last 5 years to this year, so that I can say that the students are improving a lot by looking at the results, by looking at the placements and all. Okay, that is the statistical data because we can just even compare. Okay, it helps the organization. So this is the disk storage and this is the storage manager, and coming to the query processor and interpreter anyhow you know, and DML queries is nothing but data modified language queries, and DDL is nothing but data definition language interpreter. Already I told interpreter queries and what is compiler and linker. So this object code, it will be generated once we have compiled. Okay, so and this is query evaluation engine. There will be many conversions from the source code to the object code. So this engine which helps us to take a specific query optimization, and then it will just help us to give the results by executing, by evaluating the query. Okay, so this is what, and these are like the front end users in the external level. So many of the people will be there, database administrator, which helps us to manage the administration tools and all, and the sophisticated users are analysts. Okay, data analyst you can say, and application programmers are nothing but you only. Definitely after the 4th year, you will become the software engineers, right? Okay, so you will write the programs and all. And the Navi users are nothing but they don't know about the technical knowledge. Even you can see in the real example, if you consider the banking application, okay, banking area, the non-technical people, they used to be there in the lab, in the bank. So what they used to do, they will just browse the website and they'll just enter your data, so that they will just uh, convey the thing what you have asked from your end. So but they don't know about any technical knowledge. They knows only how to use the website. That's it. So what we call them is tellers. Yeah, tellers. Okay, web users. Is sometimes agents also will be there. They don't know about anything, but they used to be like as a mediator to advertise your things and all. So these are the different terms that in this structure the scientists have used. Okay, so this is what about the DBMS structure. Uh, so now we'll go to the second chapter, data models. It was complete theory, but I will just try to give the examples also. But anyhow, you already know about ER modeling and all. So yes, what is the data modeling? Modeling the data is the answer. Yes. It is nothing but the uh, conceptual representation. We can say conceptual representation, nothing but the logical representation between the data objects. Here the object is nothing but the entity only. What is entity? It is nothing but the real world object. Okay, is the student is a real world object or not? If we consider the university database, okay, can we tell that the student is a real world object?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as like that, so for any of the application, we'll consider the data objects is real, so that is called as even entity also. And I don't want to discuss much theory what I have mentioned here. Okay, anyhow, you can read this and let us go with the next slide. These, anyhow, you know, conceptual, logical, physical, whatever I said in the levels of abstraction, that is what this one. And this is not necessary. Yes. Data model implementation. Actually, we have main thing is two only. First one, object-based logical model, and the second one is record-based logical model. Okay. In the object-based logical model, we have the two models. Okay, again we have the two. That means we can say these are the two example softwares also. Entity relationship model and the UML. See this UML, I think you have software engineering subject also in this semester, right? Am I right? Software
Yes, ma'am.
engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have lab, no? UML, Unified Modeling Language, SC lab, or you can say it is
Yes,
a
ma'am.
UML lab. So what the software that you have installed?
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Nothing yet.
Nothing.
Our teacher is still teaching theory.
What about the basics and all?
Yeah, we have it in
Yes,
software
ma'am.
engineering lab, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, so still in the
Desperately
basic.
waiting for software program, ma'am.
It was easy only, don't worry. There will be one software that you have to install it, and you have to just drag and drop. That's it. Nothing else is there in that. So that is what they are still teaching you the theory. Okay, don't worry. From the next lab onwards, maybe you do the proofs. Okay, so that is also one of the object-based logical model only. Entity relationship model. Anyhow, you know about ER model, right? So today we'll draw. I'll give you some some applications to you to do the ER model. Okay, that we will finish today. And this second one is unified modeling language. And coming to the next thing, record-based logical model. Okay, listen here. Actually, this record-based logical model, in this again we have three subtopics because these are the examples. Relational model, records nothing but relational model only. You know one thing, the relational model, it can be converted to the objective model. అంటే ఏంటి ఇప్పుడు రిలేషనల్ మోడల్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టేకెన్ ద డేటా అట్ ఫస్ట్ వాట్ వీ విల్ డూ వీ విల్ జస్ట్ మేక్ దాట్ డేటా ఇన్ టు ద టేబులర్ ఫార్మాట్ కదా సో దాట్ డేటా వీఆర్ జస్ట్ కన్వర్టింగ్ ఇన్ టు ద ఈఆర్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఆల్సో అండ్ ఈవెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ సమ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ టు convert into the tables from the ER diagram sometimes. Okay, that also we'll do in the next coming class. And this is what relational model is nothing but it has records, okay, fields and attributes, and in between the attributes there will be some relation, that's it. And the hierarchical model, network model. This hierarchical model I'll tell you because this is the it follows some other architecture compared with network model. Actually, the network model, how do you have drawn any network model? Network. Actually, it is tree-based, graph-based structure it is. So, what it has is, in this network model, each and every node, it will be connected to the many parent nodes. Okay, but in the coming to the hierarchical model, it follows some hierarchy levels. Okay, if there is one root node, then it will be all the child nodes, it has only one parent node. But in the graph-like structure, we cannot say that it should follow this hierarchy level. No, not like that. Okay, so that is what even one particular record has more than one parent record. This is what network model. But hierarchy model, it follows like tree structure. But remember only one thing, network model has the graph-like structure, and the hierarchy model has tree-based structure. So, and one more difference I want to tell you is, here the in the network model, the records, it may have more than one parent node, but in the hierarchy level, a record have only one parent node. ఇప్పుడు మీకు డౌట్ రావచ్చు, మ్యామ్ ఆల్రెడీ మేము ER diagrams వేసేస్తున్నాం కదా, so why to learn about this network model and hierarchical model? So like that you might get a doubt. Actually, this is the theoretical part. Okay, starting ఇప్పుడు మనం డిజైనింగ్ కంప్లీట్ చేశాక then just we will go with the objective model. Okay, this is the basic things. Relational model ante just we will put the data in the tabular format. Okay, that's it. We will not do more than else. So coming to here, even the network model, before the scientists ఒక్కొక్కటి డిజైన్ చేయాలంటే they have to work a lot. So first of all తీసుకొని ఒక్కొక్క రికార్డ్కి మళ్ళీ కనెక్షన్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేసుకుంటూ, so like that we have now lot many programming languages, lot many databases and all, okay, softwares and all. So before that we have to do some manual work. Okay, so this is what the example for the hierarchical model. See here, a root node will be there and it has some number of records. This is it is theory. Okay, nowhere you will just implement this hierarchical model and network model, not at all. Directly you are going to implement the queries on database. So this is importance of data model anyhow, you know. So actually it has tables, and the records will be stored as rows, and it has fields. Those are nothing but the attributes. Only one thing I'll tell you. This is what important. Okay, so the last 2 points, you can even maintain a relationship between the two tables also by applying the foreign key. And coming to the data model, so it helps in the business area a lot. And coming to this, data model helps to document data mapping in ETL process. ETL is nothing but extract, transform, and load. సో మీరు ఏదైతే డిజైన్ చేస్తారో ఫ్రమ్ దాట్ ఐ జస్ట్ లుక్ ఓవర్ ఇన్ టు ద డిజైనింగ్ పార్ట్. See, if you come with a new project to me, okay, so then what I'll do, I'll just check how much knowledge did you have. So I'll just ask you what the requirements that you have taken, okay, and what is the designing process, okay, how you are going to implement that I have to know. So at first I'll just look over into that. So after then I will just extract from the documents, we'll just extract, then transform, and then finally we will load it into the database. Okay, so this is what the importance of data model. And basic building blocks data model ante, remember one thing, అసలు డేటా మోడల్ అంటేనే the main example you can represent the ER model. ER is also one of the data model only, entity relationship data model. So what are the building blocks will be there? Already I said, the 3 important components: entity sets, attributes, and relationship sets. Okay, so that only here again we can write the answer for this also. Basic building blocks in the data model is, because see, the entire chapter is about the data models, right? So that is what again we got this entity sets, and so entity is nothing but what, it's a real world object, that's it. So for this, if you consider, see here, I can say a person, it's a real world object. Thing, it's a real world object. See, this table, it's a real world object only. We are using it. And attribute, it is a characteristic of an entity. Okay, you can even say that it's a feature of the attribute, it's a feature of an entity, or characteristic of an entity, or the property of an entity. So like that. Okay, but it is a textbook definition, characteristic of an entity. So these are the characteristics if you consider the customer: first name, last name, phone, address, credit limit, and all. If I consider a student is an entity, then what the attributes will be there? Student roll number, name, age, phone number, etc., etc., email. Okay, so that is what. Relationship. What is the relationship? It mainly used for to maintain the relationship, okay, among the entities. So it can be of any type: one to one, many to many, many to one, and one to many. And this is what you just go through the this particular table, because evolution is nothing but what? Evolution. What is the difference between the evaluation and evolution? Evaluation, nothing but, which is used to evaluate something, but evolution is nothing but the history of data models. Okay, now we are going with, see, these are the generation, we are using the 4th, see, now it is 4th generation. Okay, so at first, the first generation of data model is, first of all, file system, which we have, and in the second generation they have used this hierarchical and network models, and then they have designed the relational model. Then finally we got this object oriented data model. So for this, these are I can say these are the examples of the softwares. Okay, and for the file system, this VMS or VSAM. Nowadays we are just using the MS Office and all for storing the files and file data and okay. So see here, this software, it is mainly used by the IBM mainframe systems. Okay, just remember these things. Even in the mid exams also, they will just give you one MCQ like whether this particular example belongs to this generation or not. So like that you will be get questioned. Okay, and remember the generation duration period. Just look into this data model. Any doubts, students?
No, ma'am.
Let us go back to the syllabus now. See, this is what the second chapter. What are the data models that we have to know, and about the data models we have to write, and what is the importance of data models? You have to write the importance, and so that you just specify one data model example and whatever the basic building blocks of the data model that you just specify about the entities, attributes, and relationship sets. Okay, and coming to the ER model. And we covered up to cardinalities, I think. We covered up to where? Relationship sets. Didn't remember, right? Narayan, roll number 4. So, number 30 and the active students. Anybody can tell me, so up to where we discussed? I didn't get you, ma. Relationship sets. Antena? Okay. Up to here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we'll go with the next concept, that is mapping cardinalities in the third chapter. This everything we covered. Suppose, imagine that you have taken one application, nothing but the university database. So we have like supposition that there were two entities like student and course. Okay, so sometimes I can say, like, if there is a restriction, like if there is a constraint that every student must register all the courses, then I can say that there, all the students are registering all the courses. So I can say that, okay, 1:many. So one student is registering many courses. So I can say that is the cardinality from one entity to other entity is 1:many. And one more example. So suppose I kept a restriction like, okay, the students can choose at least one subject. Okay, so like from the courses. So then what I can expect? So maybe many of the students may choose one subject. Okay, so in that case I can say that is the many to one cardinality. Suppose, and one more thing, if I kept like a restriction that if one particular student have registered to one particular course, then no other should register for that course. Like that, if I kept, then automatically one student will be mapped to one particular course. Okay, and the second student will be mapped to another particular course. So that is the mapping cardinality, nothing but 1:1. Okay, understand? కార్డినాలిటీస్ అంటే ఏంటంటే అమ్మా, ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఎంటిటీస్లో ఇప్పుడు స్టూడెంట్ అంటే తీసుకున్నాను అనుకోండి. ఇఫ్ ఐ కన్సిడర్ ద ఈఆర్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఫర్ 11 సెక్షన్ స్టూడెంట్స్, అంటే 3B11 సెక్షన్ స్టూడెంట్స్, అప్పుడు నేను స్టూడెంట్ ఎంటిటీ తీసుకున్నా, దిస్ స్టూడెంట్ ఎంటిటీ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫర్ 60 స్టూడెంట్స్. Okay, and if I consider that course, it is for 6 subjects. Okay, if I am restricting you, okay, if I am instructing you based on some constraints, okay, according to that you will just register into the courses. Understand? So in the ER diagram also, maybe if suppose if we consider the railway reservation, only one person can book one seat, 1:1. It was existing the mapping cardinality from the person to the person booking the seat numbers. Okay, maybe book the train. అనుకోవచ్చు అక్కడ. So there exists like 1 to 1. One seat can be allocated for only one person. Okay, it is not like many to one. So akkada nenu example em pedtanante 1 to 1 mapping cardinality kinda I'll just put one symbol. You know, we should not write this kind of words while drawing the ER diagram. We have to represent the symbols. That I'll just show you now. So these are the mapping cardinalities: 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to 1, many to many. Okay, and so this is what the symbols. Okay, 1 to 1 is nothing but, you see below the relationship you have to just represent the symbols. That's it. ఇప్పుడు స్టూడెంట్ ఆ కోర్స్ మీరు ఒక ఇయర్ డయాగ్రామ్ డ్రా చేశారు అనుకోండి, below that two entities, if you mention there 1:1, so that it represents like, okay, one student is registering for only one course. So that gives me the meaning. Okay, so for this I'll just show you the example. See, suppose here student course enrolled into the course M is to N. It indicates that, okay, many of the students may enroll to many of the courses. Instead of putting the same M in both the sets, you can also mention with a different character, that is N. M is to N is indicates that many to many. That means it doesn't have any restriction to that only this particular, only one student should register to only one course. No, it means that the students can register any one of any courses, more than one courses. It gives us the meaning. So below the relationship we have to mention the cardinality. So this is what, see here, it means that what, if you consider A1 is a student and these base are courses, then A1 is registered for 2 courses. Okay, there is no restriction that if A1 has registered to one particular course, then A2 should not register. No, it is not like that, because it is many to many cardinality. And even if I gave the application to you like university database, university application, then you can represent the cardinality like between the student and courses many to many only. You cannot specify like 1:1, because it will not be applicable for the student in the educational organization. It is completely based upon the application that you have taken. So the mapping cardinalities you have to just go through in detail. Okay, so this is the meaning for this many to many, and also this is many to one. So it means that many to one. So many number of students can register, okay, the same course, but they have to register only one course. See here, A1 is registering enrolled to the only one course, B1 only, A2 also B1, A3 B2, A4 B5, A5 also B1. So this is what many to one. And this is what 1 to many. And this is 1 to 1. Understand? Do I give one more example? Or can you understand this? Understood or not? Just tell me. That's it. You can even ping me in the chat box if you understood or not, so that I can know. Yeah, I got only one reply from one student. What about others? Okay, so I can say by this we have finished some 80% of syllabus, 85% I can say. But still we have to do some more problems on this, like how to convert if there is an ER diagram. See, because even in the GATE exam also you will get the questions on this subject. Even in the interviews, they'll ask you the questions on this subject. They will ask you, sometimes they'll ask you even to write the queries for the specific question. Okay, and even in the GATE syllabus, GATE question paper, the weightage for this subject is 3 to 4 marks. 3 to 4 marks. Okay, it's not as much as easy. So I hope everybody is clear with the concepts. So in the lab, I'll make the students into groups by making them into rooms. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, and then I'll just give one application. So be ready. You have to turn on your videos during the entire lab. Okay. And if you have any video related issues, audio related issues, better don't join to the meeting. If you have any issues, okay, clear that issues and then come back to the lab. So if you don't have doubts, you can log out from the meeting, students. Thank you, students. I'm ending the session.